The whole purpose of the map is to guide you, not limit you. This is how you understand if something is too much. Hello and welcome back, Fantasy Cartographer. In this video, we are gonna add structural points of interest. To me, anything other than the major geographical features and the major settlements are points of interest, and I categorize them as natural points of interest and structural points of interest. So now whatever we add that is a structure, to me is a point of interest because it is there to add an extra element of wonder. And what can it be? It can be, for example, a dam, like not dam, the place that holds the water. It can be a magic tower. It can be an arena in the middle of the desert. Possibilities are limitless, but as long as it is a structure and it's not a major settlement, to me, it is a point of interest and it is there to add extra wonder to our maps and our worlds. All right, so remember, we had some miscs actually or planned before. Like for example, this one. This can be maybe a ruin, which is one of the most classic points of interest, structural points of interest. So let's maybe add a ruin there and let's change the colors. Get these. Okay, now we have, for example, a point of interest there. And what we can do now, we can also plan more, just like we did on the settlements, and add new things. So I'm gonna talk a little about what kind of things we can have and what should we focus on, what should we consider. So this is not going to be a very long video, but to me this is an important step, because if you only have a map that only has settlements, it is fine, but it may not be what you need, especially if you are doing regional maps. So on the world map level, it is completely fine, and in fact I sometimes prefer that. But if you want to go with details, you will end up needing to add interesting points. All right, I'm back and done with the planning. So we will have some points of interest around the map. So one of the things that, in my opinion, you should be careful is not to have all of them in the same place or only in the same country. So I think every country should have some interesting points. They should be just like the natural ones, should be distributed not evenly, doesn't have to be evenly, but nicely. So if you are doing some kind of journey, you will not have suddenly a bombardment of interesting place, escalation, and then suddenly for 3 weeks they will just travel through just a grassland. Then you're losing the balance there, which is why not necessarily evenly, but nicely spreading is, in my opinion, important. About repeating them, you should focus on, do I have a world building background for it so that I can feed it? Otherwise, it will become not a point of interest, it will just become another generic feature of your world. And you cannot really have so much element of wonder, you know, like, what is this place? It's a ruined something something. Oh my god, let's see what is inside. And then like, oh my god, we found another one. Another one? Okay, another one. Okay, one more. Like, you're losing it. If you're a game master, you will lose it. And if you're writing a story, you will lose it again, which is actually a very important topic of the planning the settings, but it's not our topic right now. So going back to adding them, I planned a little bit, so I'm going to quickly add some of them. So you also see some variety. Okay, I'm going to add this one there. So now we know why there was this railroad here, but now it's not really looking available. And also, yes, now one thing I remember. When you're adding the points of interest, you don't have to stick with a consistent coloring with your current settlements and structures. I just did it like this because it was a settlement that was ruined. But if it was another thingy, let's check. Like for example, Emil, I could completely do it different colors because they are there to get the attraction. You know, like you can break the consistency for them, in my opinion. So now what I can do, I can change the color of this one. And like in these kind of cases, I generally prefer to add a little bit of ground to it. You don't have to, like I see many people just adding the assets on top of the thingies, like it's fine. But I just prefer it this way, it's not a must. Now I can change it. Maybe I can make the top, because if it's blue, it's not going to be much catchy. So I'm going to add red instead and maybe make this a bit darker. So that's done. What else can we have? Let's check this one. I could also, for example, now add another, what is it, lighthouse, because it's also a bit generic. But if I were to add so many lighthouse all around the place, and I don't really need it for my story and they will not play a crucial role, like for example, let me think with something with lighthouse. There was a game, BioShock, was it? I think it was BioShock. Lighthouses are important there. A map of BioShock, and let's say it had a bit more twist and we could visit lighthouses more. If it showed all the lighthouses, it would make sense. It's related to it plotting, but if it's not, if it's not going to play a crucial role, don't add them. Even if there is, just mention it. Or if you're doing like very detailed regional map, you can have. Other than that, not really needed. Let's put this maybe here. A previous battlefield. Nice. I see like the planned version of it. Instead of putting it and changing, I can just, okay, something here. So they don't have to be precisely showing me where I will put them. It is like a pinpoint for me to put like around the area. Also, you can apply this understanding. So for example, to me, I can just add this here. Nice. Let's do it on the edge. So potentially what I could do now, maybe if I were to make a map of previous times, I could add more forest around here. Okay, what if I put there this one, a cage? In your story, it can be where maybe they captured some of the creature and held their nearby blah blah town, you know, they stole your dragon, for example. Okay, I know what's gonna go there. Let's go for an obelisk. Yes, what else? You know, those guys. Okay, what else can we have? Okay, one thing here, let's add here, it's in the sea. Now, as you can see, the map is becoming more interesting, and like you can add more and more things. Just try to not overcrowd the map. Like to me right now, this map is actually a little bit of overcrowded, but it's fine. We can still get away with it. And if you are willing to do very small labels and only use this on big prints or like big resolutions, then yeah, you can even add more. So it's all about if it is still going to be easy to read. This is your measure. This is how you understand if something is too much or if you can still have some space to add more things. As you can see right now, we have some interesting location here, something different here, something different here. Let's actually change this one so it's not going to be only ruins. That's something different, a different type of ruin. So now there is more and more things, so they can inspire you. You can always change them in the future or add new things. The whole purpose of the map is to guide you, not limit you. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is the step that I recommend to take after adding the major settlements. You can add even more. You can find more ideas, especially like the classic things like arenas, magic towers, visit towers, watch towers if you want to add. And you can also add the watchtowers as, so yeah, the whole idea is this, making the map more interesting and inspire yourself while you're plotting or while you're brainstorming on the map for more campaigns. So I hope you like it. I hope this was helpful. If it did, make sure to like and comment. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.